If I can get everyone to take their seat, please. Good evening and welcome to this evening's meeting. We're going to have the invocation by Bishop Mark L. House of Victory City Church International of Forest Park. That will be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand.
Thank you. Let us pray. Dear Lord, we thank you for the opportunity to gather together in the spirit of unity and in excellence. We would pray your blessing tonight upon this county, upon this commission, and upon these citizens. We would pray, God, that for your guidance and your wisdom in every decision and every plan, every thought and every purpose tonight, that we would put our self-will aside so that our mission tonight would be for a better Clayton County. These blessings and many others we ask. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everyone. In the Board of Commissioners' business pre-meeting tonight at 6:30, it generally consented to make 3 deletions on the agenda, and I will read them for your benefit at this time. If you look at item number 7 on the first page, request of Ramona Thurman, interim purchasing agent of Central Services, the board will be deleting subsection 2, request to open a public business account as requested by the CFO and authorized purchasing agent, and this is to explore other options at this time. For the same reason, the board will be deleting item number 4, request for Board of Commissioners approval to utilize National Joint Powers Alliance Cooperative, utilizing Staples Advantage as the countywide office supplier. And lastly, on page 3, this would be under item number 8, consider request of Ramona Thurman, Chief Financial Officer. The board will be holding subsection 6, Budget Amendment 4-06, Fund 307, 2009, reimposition splosh for fiscal year ending June 30th of 2015 to amend the budget for additional renovations to the front entry gate and rear masonry wall at the Clayton County International Park in the amount of $43,686 and no cents. And with those deletions from the agenda, may we have a motion from the board to adopt it, please?
Mr. Chairman, I move that.
Hold on a second.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, we would also like to add a resolution that will be coming to you in just a little while. The resolution is going to declare the results of the special local option sales tax election held on May the 20th, 2014, and for other purposes.
And state the emergency for that to be out.
We have to have the board to approve this resolution in order to lock in the rates for the bond for the SPLOST.
And this will be
Before
resolution 2014-200.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the agenda with the noted changes.
Is there a second? I'll second it. Properly moved and second. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Okay, next the board will consider approval of the following Board of Commissioners meeting minutes, and I've listed them separately because on some occasions we did not have a full board present. The first being July 15, 2014, which was a public hearing on the proposed fiscal year 2015 millage rate increase at 6 p.m.
Mr. Chairman, I move to adopt the minutes from July 15th, 2014 public hearing on the proposed fiscal year 2015 millage rate increase.
Is there a second? I'll second it. Properly moved and second. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Abstained, was not present.
Okay,
Commissioner
so that's
Edmondson abstains.
1-0. Michael Edmondson abstained. Okay. Next we have July 15, 2014 regular business meeting at 7 p.m.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the minutes from July 15, 2014 regular business meeting.
Is there a second? I'll second it. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Abstain.
Another abstention.
That's you, okay.
Commissioner Edmondson.
All right. July 22nd, 2014, public hearing on proposed fiscal year 2015 millage rate increase at 11 a.m.
Motion to approve the July 22nd, 14 public hearing on the proposed 2015 millage rate increase at 11 a.m.
Is there a second? I'll second. Probably moved in second. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Abstain, I wasn't there.
One
Okay,
abstention.
Shana Rooks abstained. Okay. And lastly, we have the July 22nd, 2014 public hearing special call meeting to adopt the fiscal year 2015 millage rate, which was held at 6:30 p.m.
Mr. Chairman, I move to adopt the minutes from July 22nd, 2014 public hearing special call meeting to adopt the fiscal year 2015 millage rate held at 6:30 p.m.
Is there a second? I'll second it. Properly moved in second. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
And
Abstain,
Michael
I wasn't
Edmondson
present.
abstains, yes.
Commissioner Edmondson is abstaining.
Okay. We now will hear from the public. Citizens will be given a 3-minute maximum time limit to speak before the Board of Commissioners, and I understand that 19 people signed up. So it's very possible at the maximum we could hear maybe 11 or 12 people if each of you will not have 3 minutes to speak before the board. And following 30 minutes of hearing from the public, the Board of Commissioners will allow the remainder of citizens who have signed up to be heard at the next Tuesday meeting. And I'd like to state at this time that when you come up, please speak directly and distinctly in the microphone. All of these meetings are video and audio taped, so we want you to be transparent, and in order to be transparent, you have to be heard. I'd also like to say that abusive language and personal attacks on board members, county employees, or other citizens will not be permitted, and such persons will be ruled out of order by the chairman. All speakers must adhere to this policy and other rules as may be necessary. This time, the chairman will call, he has the list, the persons who have signed up for public comment.
Dr. Henry Anderson.
Good afternoon, Commissioner Sana Gregory, Ms. Sana Gregory of District 1, Vice Chairwoman, Attorney Judge Ms. Shana Rooks of District 3, Chairman and Chief Mr. Jeffrey Turner, entire Clayton County Metropolitan Municipal and Unincorporated Areas, Commissioner Ms. Gail Hambrick of District 2, and Commissioner Mr. Michael Emerson of District 4. I'm before all of you to state my concern on the non-passage of the millage rate and how we have gone past the August 1st deadline. I'm also concerned in the July 22nd meeting at the very important vote at 6:30 of your absence, Commissioner Edmondson, even though you attended the 11 o'clock meeting. There was 2 articles by the Clayton News Daily on July 25th entitled Board Can't Decide on Millage Rate, and on Saturday, August the 2nd, entitled BOC Fails to Approve Millage Rate, and I was looking for a reason for your absence, and there was none in there. And for the record, I'm not asking why you were absent. It is your discretion, of course, whether you choose to disclose a reason. I'm only stating fact. But because everybody's position was well stated with the abstention with Commissioner Hambrick and Commissioner Gregory, and Chairman Chief Turner and Vice Chairwoman Attorney Judge Ms. Rooks' position for the budget, yours was the key vote. But because of the absence, now a letter has to be written to the Georgia Department of Revenue requesting an extension, and if they choose to reject this request, we know they can legally and lawfully fine us 50 cents on every dollar in taxes the county collects while the millage rate is late. It is not good for Clayton County to be in this position, and they can call other counties, cities, and municipalities and surrounding metropolitan areas to view us in an unfavorable light on leadership in this area if it makes the Atlanta Journal-Constitution newspaper, which today it has not so far. For the record, I wholeheartedly support the very modest increase in our millage rate and in the fire fund to give much needed raises to the Clayton County workers who deserves their modest pay increase, and to keep our top performing Clayton County Fire Department running at tip-top peak efficiency, and for them to continue to give a high level of service to the citizens of Clayton County. It is my sincere hope that whether or not you vote to pass the increase in the millage rate or not to keep it the same, that the state of Georgia does not elect to penalize and fine Clayton County, and that the leadership abilities and camaraderie of all of you, especially in physical, budgetary, and financial matters, have not been severely damaged, and that going forward, you will never let this happen again, period, because as powerful as you are in Clayton County, and I have stated I respect your power in this county, your power and reach does not extend to the state level in the state of Georgia in this matter. And if you run afoul of the state, which has occurred, they have, and can use that massive power to penalize and fine this county heavily and severely if they so desire. Unfortunately, this is a position that you have put this county in to be at the mercy of the state of Georgia and their goodwill in this matter. In closing, it is my sincere hope that you will never let this happen again, because we, the good citizens of Clayton County, do not deserve to have our county to be in this awful position with the state of Georgia, and I sincerely hope they do not penalize and fine this county, and will be gracious and kind enough to extend a deadline to at least the end of the month of August, or the next commission meeting on August the 19th at 7 o'clock p.m. Thank you for your time, attention, listening ear, and respect in this matter.
Thank you, Dr. Anderson. Dr. Anderson, also, I would like for you to know that we did apply for that extension and did get it. So we're good for the next meeting. All right.
Mr. Chairman, but how about the other two items, that, you know, that I think were kind of misleading, like the amounts that were listed? Is Mr. Baskin here? Is that the appropriate? That
Mr. Baskin, if you can come
that
forward,
the county
please.
would be fined, you know, 50% of each dollar. Is that true?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
I wanted to ask you, is that true? What is the penalty from the state for filing late or submitting our information late? What is the actual penalty? What's the amount? I know the paper said 50 cents or 50% of each dollar, 50 cents on each dollar, whatever. But
That would be the worst case scenario, because had we not received, which we have, the extension, after August 1st, it would have been 1/10 of the commission for each week that we were late. After 30 days, now we go into that worst case scenario
right.
without the rejection, with the rejection of the extension. But Clayton County has received this extension. We're good till September 2nd, and I'm quite sure by the 19th you will be voting on the millage rate.
That's correct.
And then the second thing was too, I think the paper incorrectly, if Mr. Thurman, if you can correct that, you said what the increase would be on a house valued at $150,000. What actually would be that increased dollar amount for a house in unincorporated Clayton County if it was valued at $150,000?
The millage rate last year was 14.661. The proposed millage rate is 14.8 something. I don't forget the last two numbers. 69. The increase from last year, what they paid based on the 14.661 to the proposed is $10.40 for incorporated, $40.40 for unincorporated, with the fire district added to it.
Okay, so if it was a house in unincorporated Clayton County, would that be $50?
That would be the fire district. It would be the $40.40.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Baskin. Ms. Lakita Patrick.
Hello, everybody, all of the board members and Chairman Turner.
Would you speak a little clearly, please? Right
And
in the microphone.
would you also just state for the record the county that you reside in as also?
I'm sorry, repeat that?
When you state your name, please state the county you reside in as well.
Okay. I'm Lakita Patrick. The county that I live in is Clayton County. And the reason why I come before you today is very simple. It may not mean anything to you, but it means greatness to me. I'm finding myself, when I go to job interviews, business opportunities, celebrity networking events, that when they ask me where I live, and when I say Clayton County, then they pause, they frown, and then the issue is that they begin to talk about the government issues. And that frustrates me, and it causes me a lot of job opportunities, business opportunities as well. I mean, because I just had like an interview yesterday, and I just got frustrated because I'm there to get a job. I'm not there to discuss Clayton County issues. That's not my job to do that. And I was very hurt and very frustrated when I left that interview. And it's not just that one, it's all of where I go. And I'm just tired of it. I want the people who run the county to put it in a more positive direction, create more jobs so that people like myself won't have to go outside to get jobs, and enforce the county laws. Because in my neighborhood, there's a lot of issues, and I'm the only one that calls because I'm a homeowner and the rest of everybody are renters, which is frustrating to me because I'm trying to do what I'm supposed to do as a homeowner, and nobody else cares. And it's just a concern of mine. So with that said, I'm done with that.
Thank you. It's Amy Adams.
Amy Adams. I'm from Henry County, and I'm with Partners for Pets. Good evening, Chairman Turner and Commissioners. I'd like to thank the Commission and also retired Captain Thompson for inviting Partners into Clayton County Animal Control to assist in saving approximately 9,000 animals from being euthanized over the last 3 years. Thank you for allowing us to prove what could be done. It's now up to you to keep the euthanasia rate down, but the trend so far is very disturbing. After Partners left, and under the police department's direction, the public was told that Clayton County Animal Control was a no-kill facility. Yet after a week, 23 animals were put down in secret and with no warning. 7 of these animals had rescue in place, but their rescues were told to pick them up Friday. Those 7 animals were among the ones euthanized on Thursday, in secret. Partners gave thousands of hours of volunteer labor to this county over the span of 3 years and saved hundreds of thousands of tax dollars for the citizens of the county. It's very disturbing that now animal control has been on lockdown. An unseen animal in a shelter is a dead animal. A lack of free-flowing information from inside a shelter equals the death sentence to those animals housed there. There's now a deep divide of distrust between the Clayton County Police Department and the rescue world. They've caused multiple groups who have rescued dogs from Clayton County to be attacked for simply being involved in rescue. This is causing your shelter to lose valuable help that you need. I know dozens of groups who will no longer help this county. The police department's mismanagement of the shelter has caused this divide, and it's causing the death of animals. I'd like to ask the commissioners to take time to examine the decision to let staff euthanize animals at the shelter. The type of euthanasia usually used by staff is called intraperitoneal injection, which is done on an unsedated animal. It's very painful and causes the animal to writhe in pain and throw up for 20 to 30 minutes before they finally die. Please do not accept this barbaric death for your dogs and cats. I'd also like to ask that you privatize Clayton County Animal Control and put someone in charge who understands rescue and puts the well-being of the animals first. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, if I could please have you to take your seat. Please, let's keep order. Ms. Marie Doral.
Mr. Chairman, members of the Commission, I also want to thank all of you for your support for allowing us to be at Animal Control for the past 3 years, along with retired Captain Mark Thompson. While we could not reach a mutual agreement to continue at Animal Control, our hope and vision for the future is that the animals will be saved and have a second chance. In order to achieve the success of saving the number of animals we were able to facilitate rescue for, it will take more than just a rescue coordinator. It will take a huge team of updating photos, responding to emails, phone calls in a timely manner. If rescues can't obtain what they need from you, they're going to another shelter. We don't want to see that happen. Partners had volunteers all over the world. Animal Control is going to also need volunteers. This is a round-the-clock process and takes hundreds of hours, day and night. In the spirit of open and responsive government, it is up to this commission to ensure that the public is treated fairly, invite visitors, volunteers, rescues, and adopters to animal control within the necessary restrictions, without the necessary restrictions they currently have. There are several things that could be done to assist with less animals being euthanized right now. One is to reduce the fees for owners coming back in to reclaim their animals, require owners of dogs that they are breeding to obtain a breeder's license. I don't believe that you've ever required that in Clayton County before, and it's already on your books. That would save a lot of time. That would save a lot of animals from being euthanized at animal control. Allow unadoptable breeds to be adopted again, but make sure that they're spayed and neutered first. You will always have people that are jealous of Clayton County and this shelter. We're proud of our accomplishments, and we're proud of the fact that we've saved as many animals as we have, and we feel like that if you thought we had done anything wrong, you would have had us out of there a long time ago. One thing we would really like to do is present a PowerPoint presentation in front of all of you that shows our transparency. We are happy to come in here and show you everything that Partners has done. Thank you.
Lance White.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. Let me get this up here. I'm a little tall here. Okay. You all don't actually know me at all.
What county are you from, sir?
I am from Forsyth County, Georgia. So I want to tell you just a little bit about myself so you understand where I'm going from here. I've been a successful business person for 27 years. I opened up my jewelry store when I was 23 years old. Still have it today. I'm not running that store. I have volunteered for the Humane Society of Forsyth County for the past 10 years. For the past 5 years, I was actually the president, and I increased their adoption rates from 250 a year to over 1,800 a year now. We also reduced the county's euthanasia rate by 40%. My involvement with the community between the business and the Humane Society caused, when they were building a new animal control facility, I was put on the board by the commissioners of our county. So they have that much faith in what we're doing. So we were to build, design, and implement a protocol on medical and intake procedures and everything. So the new $3.5 million complex is due to open in 15 days. This past year, I was asked to be the CEO of Angels Among Us, which is the largest pet rescue in the Southeast. We also, which brings me to Clayton County. We are your #1 rescue group that pulls from your county. This year alone, we've pulled 126 dogs. We have pulled, in the past 4 years, 700 animals from Clayton County. It's not that we want to come down to Clayton County to pull animals. There's a real need here. And we also enjoyed working with Partners for Pets. They were probably one of the biggest reasons we came down. We would have come down for 2 dogs. We would leave with 8 or 10 because they would always do that for us. So when I'm speaking of this, I'm speaking firsthand with the knowledge here that we're doing. We were alarmed as a rescue group to hear that 22 dogs were put down without any calls out to rescue groups at all. And some of those dogs, I believe, were actually ours that were put down, that we had talked to them about and we're going to take them. We're also concerned that Clayton County Animal Control doesn't do immediate care for animals when they're on intake. There are no vaccinations that are given when the animals come into the facility, which causes disease and everything to spread. The immunization upon arrival, I mean, without doing that, it's like you're living in the dark ages here. You have a police department that is trying to run an animal control facility without the appropriate tools. Allow them the tools to cause the infections and diseases to, to calm down in this county. Let's see here. One of the things that I see that the county needs more than anything is education. Education on proper care of animals, I should say. In Forsyth County, we had worked through the Humane Society for 35 years, and we educate the community by starting in the elementary schools, explaining to the kids the proper introduction of an animal so they don't get dog bit. We explain the proper care procedures and everything that goes along with that. We also came up with a lot of different programs. We have a spay and neuter program, which we would do for low cost or no cost. Now, we did that through the Humane Society. I'm sure that a couple of nonprofits around here would be able to help you with that. If not, Angels might be interested in helping you.
I'm sorry, sir, your time has expired.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. White.
Okay, thank you.
Lisa Fleming.
Good evening, Chairman and the Board. My name is Lisa Fleming. I'm with Courtney's Canine Care, and I'm from Fayette County. I do have a rental home in Clayton County. I own and operate a boarding facility that has assisted Clayton County Animal Control for over 2.5 years. We opened it up for Clayton County Animal Control, and I've worked with partners for over 2.5 years as well. And what I can say is, over that 2.5 years, I've seen numerous animals that have been helped off of their general fund. I have also provided services of quarantine board for these animals as well, and put over $30,000 in 3 years out of my pocket. Partners for Pet they did a wonderful thing, and this has been a great success. I don't understand, what happened, but I do know I have a dog in my boarding facility right now. His name is Bugsby. He was hit by a car. He has a broken pelvis. He has no urine control, and he sits because $150 has been collected right now, and it takes more than that just to get radiographs. Had that dog came into animal control with partners, the general fund would have already had him in a veterinarian office. The surgery could have already been done. I've seen it happen over and over again. If I had enough time, I could give you numerous examples. Clayton County Animal Control needs a staffed vet. They need to have a staffed vet on hand. There's animals that do get sick because when you combine a lot of animals in one building, that's what happens. Kennel cough is the common that goes into pneumonia, some other viruses, some other bacteria, but you have to have a staff vet to be able to address those needs of the animals as well as a kennel manager. And if you don't make it private, which my vote is to privatize the kennel, but if you don't, please hire a staffed vet. Please do the fundraising for these animals. Take good pictures. Bonnie Adam took pictures for a long time. Great pictures. ASPCA, y'all have all seen the video. Makes you cry, all the animals, the sad faces. That's what gets animals rescued, really good pictures. And it's important. Fundraising is also important. Vaccines on intake, you've heard about that from the last speaker. That's crucial. Vaccines, they need rabies, DHPP, right when they come in the door. Please do not allow the staff at AC to do IP, euthanasia. It's literally taking a needle into their abdomen. Has anybody ever seen a 40, 60, or 80-pound pit bull? They're very active, and you're trying to stick a needle in their abdomen and giving them 20 minutes to die on the floor of the kennel. That the American Veterinarian Association doesn't even recommend that way. It needs to be in the vein, and it needs to be done by a staffed veterinarian that can hit the vein, and it needs to be done humanely. Please do not allow IP to enter that shelter. Bill Wise runs Walton County Animal Control. Chairman Turner, please call him. He does a wonderful job. Please call him. Have lunch with him. Just chat with him for a little bit. He's very successful. He's a photographer. He does a really great job, and he can give you some advice for Clayton County. I want to leave tonight and say, please build the new shelter. Please make the new shelter go up before 2016. Please have a staff vet and a kennel manager. Please vaccine on intake. Promote peace between the rescue coordinator, and if it's not private, let's have a peaceful environment, all work together for these animals. and never allow these staff members to euthanize. It should be in a vet's hands only. Thank you.
Jimmy Jenkins.
I'm Jimmy Jenkins, and I'm a resident of Rockdale County. I have some things to give you in just a few minutes. Everything just about has been said, but I'm going to be very brief with my comments. First of all, I am an animal advocate. The majority of my time is spent trying to save the companion animals, and I have been a liaison volunteer for Animal Rescue New Orleans for 5 years after Katrina, and am presently in that same position with Old Fella Animal Rescue in Burke County, Georgia, that has no animal control. I would like to read you something very briefly that I feel is very appropriate at this moment because of the comments that have been made about euthanasia. These items are from the American Veterinary Medical Association, and I feel that they're very noteworthy and important to those that are responsible for the animals in Clayton County Animal Control. The AMVA encourages careful consideration of the decision to euthanize and the methods used. The AMVA also have specific guidelines for the euthanasia of dogs and cats in rescues and animal control. They highly encourage respect for the interest of the animal and the use of a process that is painless, rapid, and distress-free as possible. And finally, the AMVA also suggests that all animal control officers take the time to evaluate the morality of their decisions and ask themselves if their actions became public, would they feel shame? And finally, I have prepared an information folder for each of you that discloses a letter that I sent back in June to state and local officials and others to help bring attention to the treatment of the animals at Clayton County Animal Control. I felt compelled to write this letter due to some of the inhumane occurrences that were witnessed. Please read all this information carefully and know that I do hope that Clayton County Animal Control will improve over time. I've also included a flyer about a no-kill seminar that's occurring this month that I have attended in the past and encourage all those in animal control to attend, and I will put the information plus the information that you're going to receive on the back table for the general public. Thank you very much.
Karen Kelly. Thank you, Ms. Kelly. Jean-Claude Bourget.
Good evening, Chairman. Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Jean-Claude Bourget. I live in the Waverly subdivision, right off from Walt Stevens, near the International Park. With this summer's events in the park, my 1 Street subdivision has seen a significant increase in foot and car traffic. In addition to the increased traffic for the first time, my quiet subdivision has experienced a series of break-ins and prostitution occurrences that have never happened in the 17 years I've lived in that county, in this county, I should say. It is my understanding that the Clayton County Parks and Recreation and the Path Foundation are planning to use our neighborhood as the main road, Waverly Drive, as part of the new trail system. Now, I love trails. I ride bikes. I walk. So I'm not against that. However, I would like to, given the significant increase in the criminal activity due to the events at the park across the street, my neighbors and I are highly opposed to the creation of a trail system which uses our street as one of the proposed trail connectors. Before making a decision on the proposed trail system in our areas, I urge all you commissioners, okay, meet with the communities where these trail systems will be located, and to meet with the residents of my community in particular, because that's my interest, in order to adjust the alignment of this proposed trail. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Jeffrey Benoit.
Good evening, Commissioner Turner.
Good evening.
Chairman Turner, excuse me, and commissioners, Singleton, Rooks, Hamburg, Mr. Eggleston. My comment tonight piggybacks off of that of what was said by Dr. Anderson. We have a chairman who has the authority and the purpose of calling special call meetings for special purposes as it applies to the interest in this community. When an individual has a private or personal reason beyond known to them that they are not in the meeting, and that's okay. You are authorized to do that. You're all part-time. The chairman is full-time. In the agenda on item 10 is the second read for a motion, I believe, that under the meeting and home powers rule, and correct me if I am wrong, and that is to diminish the authority of the chairman so that the board would have to make a decision as to whether or not they can have a special call meeting. Let's go back a couple of weeks ago when we had the special call meeting for the 1-cent sales tax. Let's go back to the meeting where we had the meeting for the taxes itself. The board did not meet in a full session with all members. Therefore, these special call meetings were called. And where a board member is not there and we cannot get a 3-2 vote, 2-2 vote, that type of thing, the public suffers, as we did with the tax issue that we're talking about now. I would ask that this particular ordinance, number 10, 2014-167, be stricken, in that if you take the authority from the chair, who is full-time, and gives the authority to the chair, to the commissioners who are part-time, how does he do his job that we have elected him to do? How does he do his job? This is nothing more than a takeover and a demotion in his authority. We've seen that when we had a county manager. It goes back that far. Let's not take Clayton County back to a time when we had a very, very dim look on Clayton County. Let's come together in unison to work together for the goal of Clayton County and pushing Clayton County forward. We have some problems, as has been spoken to this young lady here tonight, that when she goes out for a job, she is addressing the issues about the county as to her personal qualifications for the job. That's because what is being perceived in the metro area is Clayton County is on joke time. Let's get back to the business of Clayton County. Let's get back to the business of improving our image so that when we go out and do what we have to do, people see us as a county on the move as opposed to a county being stagnant with no move and no growth at all. Thank you so much.
Excuse me, Chairman Turner, we may have time for 2 more individuals if they're brief, because one has waived and 1 or 2 people spoke maybe 2 minutes instead of 3.
Okay. Miyoshi Bourget. So I'll get it right eventually.
Good evening. I am not going to talk to you about economic development tonight. I will be talking about that at the next meeting. However, tonight I am going to talk to you about an issue, express my views on an impending vote that you do have. And that is the vote on ordinance 2014-167, just as Mr. Benoit spoke about. The ordinance was proposed by Mr. Edmondson, and it is the ordinance, the code, it amends the county code to delete Part 1, related laws pertaining to meetings, in its entirety, and replaces it with a new Section 2.4. The amendment strips our chairman of his power to call for additional meetings when necessary, and transfers the power to 3 members, any 3 members of the Board of Commissioners instead. As a concerned citizen in this county, I would like it duly noted that I strongly disagree with this amendment and ask you to vote no. The role of the chairman of any board is an important one. The chairman must ensure that the board is effective in its task of setting and implementing the county's direction and strategy. The chairman is responsible for acting as the lead representative of the county's goals and policies. And because he is responsible for the day-to-day operations of the county and its departments and its employees, he has the primary task of monitoring the pulse of this county and ensuring its well-being. Because of these grave responsibilities, it is crucial that the chairman have the power to act in the best interest of the county and its stakeholders. Limiting the chairman's power is limiting his ability to act in our best interest. I saw in the budget a chart of your reporting powers. You guys report to the citizens of Clayton County. A clear example of his power was exemplified by Mr. Turner's decision to call a special meeting on the 1% sales tax referendum. This meeting was called because a window of opportunity to do something beneficial for the majority of our citizens was about to close. And because Mr. Turner had this ability to call a special meeting to vote on the 1% sales tax referendum, we the citizens now have the opportunity to vote for transit, something that not only some of our citizens need, and that's right for them, but it's right for the entire county. Voting to limit Mr. Turner's power to call special meetings, especially when meetings are called in the best interest of the stakeholders, is actually a vote against us, those who you report to. So, when the vote's taken this evening, I ask you to say no and to send a message to your stakeholders that says you are more interested in doing what is right for us, those who you report to, than doing what is in your own self-interest. Thank you.
Chairman, one more, please.
Danny Kirby, please.
Mr. Chairman, County Commissioners, I'm here again on the issue of animal control. What happened 2 weeks ago is unspeakable. I would like to know who is responsible for the slaughter of the 22 dogs. Who is responsible for the animal cruelty? It's only a felony in every state of America. Y'all have over $4 million of our money in an account which draws $4,000 a day. Yet you require on volunteers to come down and rescue the animals, to veterinarian care, to rescue centers. They spend their own time, their own money, their own vehicles. Do any of y'all work for free? I don't think so. What we want is an in-house veterinarian who will spade and neuter every animal that comes through Clayton County and give them their vaccinations so that they are ready for adoption and retrieval to rescue centers. Please stop the killing. That's all we ask. Stop the killing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next we'll ask the board members to step down from the podium, please.
Before we step down,
sure.
I have a couple of questions I might ask of Chief Porter, if you could come down, Chief. Chief, I know we've had some issues that you have had to address. Of course, the police department is in charge of the animal control shelter. You're in charge of the operations down there. One thing that I do want to know is, have we stopped taking pictures of these animals?
No, sir.
Posting them on the
No, sir.
on
We
the
have
website.
a photo gallery that we're actively on our social media for everyone's view.
Hold on. Please, let's be respectful. When it comes to euthanizing the animals, I know they were talking about the heart stick. Is that what the vet was using now anyway? So have you researched, I know you made this recommendation, have you researched it, and what was the results of your research in terms of having a vet tech to do that?
Yes, sir. The research revealed that we could have a vet tech to oversee the administration of the euthanization, and with that, it mitigates some of the costs as well as some of the issues that we're having operational-wise.
Where else do they use that method?
Say again?
That type of vet tech, where else do they utilize that?
Cobb County, Henry County, and some other local governmental entities.
Okay. Any board member have any other questions? Is there anything else you want to add?
Yes, sir. Chairman, I want to make a statement to the board and the taxpayers of Clayton County. One statement, threefold closing remarks. Number one, that facility belongs to the taxpayers of Clayton County. The taxpayers of Clayton County. With our jobs at the police department, we must hold everybody accountable. We can't walk around under the pretense of a handshake. We have to have a formalized agreement that protects the pets, partners and pets, that protects the employees, that protects the integrity of that shelter. Number two, responsibility. We recognize the fact that we need to be more vigilant in terms of educating and making the pet owners more responsible. The third part, transparency. Make it fair for everyone, partners and pets, Humane Society, Clayton Humane Society, everybody to have a fair shake to come down there to meet a common goal in rescuing those animals. Now, we've had challenges with partners and pets. For the last 2.5 years, we've been trying to sit down at the table to have a reasonable business conversation with them about what we want them to do. Reasonable about things to protect them and the county. We've had challenges with employees filing hostile working environments on partners and pets. Partners and pets representative making racial comments toward the general
Chief,
public.
I really don't want to get all into that point, but
Chairman,
let's just specifically talk about the operations and the challenges.
Okay, again, I think it's very fair, and I think it's fair to the taxpayers to have a formal agreement. We just can't walk it. You can't just walk up in the government and just and make up the rules as we go.
Please, let's be respectful. Everybody interjected when y'all were speaking. Let the chief have
2.5 years we've been trying to meet with them, trying to formalize a MOU. I think that is very fair. That accounts for due diligence on our behalf and their behalf. You know, that is what we're doing here. We're government. We just can't allow anyone to just walk. We want to protect them. We want to protect the residents. We want to protect the integrity of that center down there. That is very fair. I'll be willing, after the board meeting, to go down to the police headquarters and meet with partners and pets in the Clayton Humane Society and everybody. Fair and consistent.
What's the Clayton Humane Society's role here?
Clayton, I've been talking with the Clayton Humane Society along with the Atlanta Humane Society. I spoke with Peter, representative out of Virginia, and we talked about some of the challenges that we're having. So I have a lot of people at the table who we're dealing with. Clayton Humane Society has been very proactive over the past few years. There's some internal issues with the Clayton Humane Society. I don't want to get into that publicly, but again, we welcome anyone who wants to do the right thing for the animals. I've talked with Robin Ross. She's very energetic, has a lot of credibility, and she's been a good person, a good resource to reach out to in the past. Again, that shelter been down there since 1988, and all of a sudden, 2.5 years, we've had some problems. Again, that shelter belongs to the taxpayers.
Ma'am, please.
Let's move on, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
All right, any other questions? Thank you, Chief.
Okay.
Ma'am, you are out of order. I will have you removed. Please have a seat. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. All right, let's proceed on.
Okay.
Presentation.
As I had said earlier, we request that the board members step down from the podium. We have recognition of the 2014 Public Leadership in the Arts Award, which the county was presented from Americans for the Arts and NACO, National Association of Counties. We'd like Miss Lynn. Okay, and we have Miss Linda Sumlin here, Executive Director of Arts Clayton. And before we take pictures, okay, we'll let the people get out first. Thank you. Okay. Okay, after I say what this is about, okay? After I say what this is about, okay? Okay. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, we'll take pictures then. We need to, before we take pictures, I'm going to read something before you take a picture, okay? Okay. Hi. Okay. We need to go ahead and get a symbol so we can let the public know what this award is all about, please. Okay. Okay. Okay, yeah, but let me have what's in it, please. That piece of paper, Commissioner Evans, that piece of paper that's in there. Yeah, before we do this, yeah. The piece of paper, yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. We're going to wait until we can have some peace and quiet, please. We'll allow the individuals to leave the boardroom. Okay, I'd like to let the public know at this time the purpose of this award. The county is being honored for its Artworks program, which unites Arts Clayton, a nonprofit community organization that hosts children's programs and a public art gallery, with Clayton State University, Atlanta Technical College, and the Clayton County Public Schools. The public-private partnership trains a modern workforce for the creative jobs of the future. Additionally, as part of Georgia's Camera Ready Communities program, Clayton County was one of the first certified film offices in the state, attracting over 30 television and film projects from 2010 through 2013, and injecting the weakened local economy with much-needed temporary jobs. Arts Clayton reaches 18,840 students annually through more than 1,500 hours of art instruction in schools, community facilities, summer camps, and workshops. And you may have noticed what an exquisite award this is. It is made out of Neuro glass. The Neuro Glass Studio is one of the early leaders in the rebirth of the American glass arts. Today, in their 4th decade, they continue to expand the boundaries of creativity and expression in 21st century art glass. Today, the studio is in its 4th decade with son Nicholas Neuro as master glass maker. Nick started blowing glass at age 9 with his parents, Anne Corcoran and Michael Neuro. Since 1974, the studio is known for all types of hand-blown glass, both functional and sculptural. Excellence in blown glass making begins with a quality material. Neuro is unique among studio artisans because all of its hot colors are made from scratch using raw materials. It is completely hand-formed at the bench using all the old world techniques. No two pieces are ever exactly duplicated, and each receives the maker's mark and signature. At this time, Executive Director of Arts Clayton, Linda Sumlin, will make a few remarks.
Thank you, commissioners. Y'all and board members, just stand there and look at that. Isn't that beautiful? We are so excited. I want to thank the commissioners in total, but I have a few comments about this. And board members, thank you so much for being here tonight. The NACO Award, in partnership with Americans for the Arts, is a great example of the impact of our Clayton County commissioners investing in the vision that students today are the county's workforce tomorrow. Arts Clayton joined in that vision as far back as 1998, when we worked with county officials through a HUD grant to acquire our mobile art van, which now travels across the county, working alongside educators and community leaders to ensure that students develop strong reading skills and opportunities to use their creative talents that will ultimately help them to succeed in school and life. As a member of NACO's Arts and Culture Committee, thank you, Commissioner Singleton Gregory, for keeping Arts Clayton and our county on their radar. And thank you, Chairman Turner, Commissioner Rooks, Hambrick, and Edmondson, for giving support to Arts Clayton's efforts to help you showcase a great Clayton County, of which we're so proud of. It is indeed a team collaboration. We are most grateful and appreciative. Thank you.
Annually, it's very competitive for counties to be recognized for this award. And Chairman Turner and Commissioner Hambrick and I were fortunate enough to be in New Orleans to accept this. And just for Clayton County to be recognized on a national level like this, it's just awesome. So I hope that everybody will go talk about it.
Let me add one thing here. Ms. Patrick, next time you talk to somebody, they acting like Clay County's joke, ask them if they have an award. Recognized. Okay.
And it's going to be
double A creditor.
Yes. And it's going to be showcased in a case here in the commissioner's lobby. And I know it's like you were going to do that. I've got the specs and how it should be done. We good. All right. Thank you. I'm so glad you were down there. Yeah. Thank you, Shane.
Okay.
Looks good on you too. Thank you so much.
That's it. Thank you.
$15 a day is about 41 million.
Okay, at this time, the board will consider requests of Ramona Thurman, interim purchasing agent of Central Services.
Please take all your requests together.
Okay, good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. I have 5 items for your consideration this evening. The first item is a request to sell county surplus items. Central Services would like to obtain the necessary approval from the Board of Commissioners to dispose of county assets by utilizing our contract with govdeal.com, and the items are listed on. Do you need me to read all of them?
No.
No? Okay. The next item is a service agreement for equipment maintenance, PO number 14-4453. This request is for the maintenance of equipment located in the Finance Department as requested by the Chief Financial Officer. The recommendation is to approve this maintenance agreement with Basic Services Incorporated for 1 year in the amount of $1,244. Funds are available through the Central Services Repair and Maintenance account, and the equipment is a check signer, a burster, V760, and a paper folder CV7. I request you approve the recommendation, authorize the chairman or his designee to execute all necessary documents to accomplish the intent of the contract, and authorize the Chief Financial Officer to amend the budget accordingly. The next item is SPLOST Construction Management at Risk Services for the construction of Clayton County Police Precinct Northeast. This project was approved by the Board of Commissioners on August 6, 2013, and was awarded to Hogan Construction Group, LLC. As stipulated in Section 2.2 of the Construction Manager at Risk contract for Clayton County Police Precinct Northeast, Hogan Construction Group, LLC, has successfully established a GMP guaranteed maximum price for this project. This change order request is to establish a GMP of $2,432,875. This cost of construction is within the budgetary allowance established for this project. I request you approve the recommendation, authorize the chairman or his designee to execute all necessary documents to accomplish the intent of the contract, and to authorize the chief financial officer to amend the budget accordingly. The next item is for liquid asphalt supply services for the Clayton County Transportation and Development Annual Contract. The bid is for liquid asphalt supply services as requested by the Director of Transportation and Development. The Director's recommendation is to issue a multi-award contract to Associated Asphalt Conley LLC, doing business as Seco, for CRS-2H liquid asphalt, and Blackledge Emulsions Incorporated for CSS-2 liquid asphalt. Funding is available through the 2009 SPLOS, and this recommendation is based upon the lowest responsive bidders that met the specifications of Transportation and Development. I request you approve the recommendation, authorize the chairman or his designee to execute all necessary documents to accomplish the intent of the contract, and to authorize the chief financial officer to amend the budget accordingly. The next item is RFB number 12-17, Miscellaneous Medical Supplies Annual Contract Second Amendment. This bid is to establish an annual contract to purchase an indefinite quantity of medical supplies as requested by the Department of Fire and Emergency Services. The Chief of EMS Fire Department recommendation is to renew the contract and price increases with PSS World Medicals Incorporated, doing business as Physician Sales and Services. The final renewal period will begin August 5th, 2014 through June 30th, 2015. The Board of Commissioners approved the original proposal on June 5th, 2012. The recommendation, I request you approve the recommendation, authorize the chairman or his designee to execute all necessary documents to accomplish the intent of the contract, and authorize the CFO to amend the budget accordingly.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the request made by Ms. Thurman.
Is there a second? I'll second. Any questions? Any of the items? Hearing none. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you.
Okay, and next, Ms. Thurman, as Chief Financial Officer, will present to the board 5 budget amendments and 2 requests for refunds.
Okay, and I have 7 items under this section of the agenda.
All right, take them together, please.
Okay, thank you. Budget Amendment 2-56 is for various departments. The amount is $2,283,077, and is to amend the budget to cover additional salary and benefits for FY 2014. The next item is 2-01, budget amendment for State Court Technology Fund. The request is to establish a budget in the amount of $194,000 for the State Court under the Technology Fund. Budget Amendment 2-2 for other general government is to replace 2 police vehicles where repair cost exceeds the value of the vehicles, and the cost for both vehicles is $74,000. Budget Amendment 4-01 from 2009 SPLOST to amend the budget in the amount of $433,576 for RFP number 13-28, Architectural Engineering Services for the construction of the Clayton County Multipurpose Fire Building and Design Development Document approved by the Board of Commissioners at the July 15th, 2014 meeting. Budget Amendment 4-05 from 2004 SPLOST to amend the budget in the amount of $828,425 for RFP number 04-59, widening and reconstruction of Mount Zion Boulevard and Battle Creek Road for Kimley Horn and Associates Incorporated change order approved by the Board of Commissioners at the July 15th, 2014 meeting. Next, I have a request for a refund in the amount of $78,452.42 to Cathay Pacific Airways Limited. This is to refund back taxes paid by the airline. Federal law precludes the imposition of a gross receipts tax on this particular business class. The last item I have for your consideration is a request for a refund in the amount of $1,435.66 for Willie's Mexicana Grill. This is to refund business license fees for the business located at 6,000 North Terminal Parkway, Concourse B at Hartsfield-Jackson Airport. After further review of the business location, it was determined that the business is located within the City of College Park's jurisdiction. That's all I have.
Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the request made by Ms. Thurman.
Can I get a second? A second. Are there any questions? Hearing none. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Thank you.
Next, the board will consider 3 legislative requests from our Human Resources Director, Ms. Renee Bright.
I'd like to take them together or one at a time. One at a time. Take them one at a time, please.
Okay. The first request is from the police department. It includes creating an animal control rescue coordinator at a grade 15, creating an animal control technician at a grade 15, eliminating an animal control assistant commander at a grade 20, and the total cost for these changes are $35,023 for salary and benefits.
Is there a motion? I'll make the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second, Mr. Chair.
Probably moved in second. Are there any questions?
I have a question.
Mr.
Ms.
Evans.
Bright, are these the positions that were discussed during the public comment where they'll be euthanizing dogs by sticking needles into their bellies?
I believe that the animal control technician will be involved in the euthanizing the animals.
Okay. Commissioner, I'd like you to entertain amending your motion to take this off the agenda.
I stand with my motion. Thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions? Hearing none. Those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
So that was 4 to 1.
Mr.
Okay,
Edmondson
Michael
opposed.
Edmondson opposed. All right.
The next request is also from the police department, requesting to fill the aviation mechanic position at a grade 29, step 9. This position has been posted for a year and we've received very little interest in the position. The cost for this advanced hire is $7,748 for salary and benefits, and I understand that the money will be reallocated from their current budget.
Is there a motion? I'll make the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Probably moved in second. Are there any
I'm
questions?
sorry, who made that second, please?
Commissioner Hambrick.
Hambrick, okay.
Any questions?
I do.
Commissioner Rooks.
Do we have the supporting documents, Chief Porter, regarding the costs associated with the hiring of the prior mechanic? I understand it was contracted before.
Yes,
Is
ma'am.
that right?
What happened initially, the full-time person retired, and then we had to bring him back on a part-time basis. So pretty much was a cobbled deal with him. We never had the opportunity to hire anyone else.
Commissioner Hambrick asked in pre-meeting if this was a net savings.
Yes, ma'am. What we're planning on doing is pulling money from a operating fund and moving it over into that employment piece of the org. So the operating funding that we're pulling it from deals with the
Could you speak
mechanical-
distinctly into the microphone? I can barely hear you.
Deals with the, correct me if I'm wrong, right? We're gonna move it from a mechanical fund, basically that used to repair the helicopter, what have you. We're gonna move $7,000 from that contract services into the.
Okay, thank you.
How long had that position been vacant?
For nearly over a year, Chairman. Again, the rationale is on the document. We've had it posted for a while. We finally identified a suitable candidate, which would mitigate training and other things that we might have with that particular position, and that person has everything that we need to meet our needs.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Okay, we have the motions and we need the ayes and nays now.
Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Nay.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Okay.
The last request is to approve the use of consolidated administrative services to administer our COBRA benefits. This will eliminate the duplication of work and liability associated with COBRA administration. The cost is $4,700 a year and will be paid from our medical fund.
Is there a motion? I'll make the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Probably moved in second. Are there any questions? Hearing none. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you.
Okay, next we will hear from our Chief Staff Attorney, Christy Barnes. And Chairman, I understand that Commissioner Edmondson has requested that each ordinance and/or resolution be voted upon
That's correct.
individually. Okay.
Yes, please take them individual.
Okay, and Mr. Chairman, I neglected to state earlier that I'm requesting that ordinance number 2014-198, which will amend Chapter 14, Animals, regarding the appointment of Dog Control Officer and Animal Control Board. I'm asking that that ordinance be removed from tonight's agenda. We are still working to fine-tune the language with those two code sections.
I'll make a motion to amend the agenda as such.
2014-198, is that correct, Ms. Barnes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Edmondson has a motion. Is there a second to his motion?
Second.
Probably moved in second. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
That was to delete it, okay.
Yes, it's unanimous.
Okay.
First is ordinance number 2014-167. This is for a second reading and adoption. It's an ordinance adopted under the home rule powers specifically granted to the governing authority of Clayton County pursuant to Article 9, Section 11, Paragraph 1B1 of the Constitution of the State of Georgia of 1983, amending the local act of the General Assembly, creating and composing the Clayton County Board of Commissioners, and setting forth the general provisions governing Clayton County government, to amend the Clayton County Code of Ordinances as amended, specifically Part 1, Article 2, Section 2-4 meetings, and Part 2, Chapter 2, Article 1, Section 2-4 meetings, to provide an effective date of this ordinance and for other purposes.
All right, before I call for a vote on this, let's make a quick statement. I am definitely opposed to this ordinance simply because it does usurp the authority of the chairman. And I believe in all that we do, especially in government, we need to have checks and balances in place. And I think by doing this, we are doing citizens of this county injustice by not having a check and balance in place. And before I call for the motion, I'm going to ask Commissioner Edmondson if you'd like to modify it or pull it.
I like the motion that we approve.
Okay. Is that your motion? Okay, is there a second on the motion? Is there a second?
No second.
All right, motion dies due to a lack of second.
Wow, Gail.
Next is ordinance number 2014-183, which is an ordinance to amend the Code of Clayton County, Georgia, as amended, specifically Code of Clayton County, Georgia, Part 2, Chapter 2, Businesses, Article 1 in general, by deleting the existing Section 22-1, Registration of Name of Contractor for Building and Repair Services, and substituting in lieu thereof a new Section 22-1 to repeal conflicting laws, ordinances, and resolutions, to provide severability, to provide an effective date, and for other purposes.
Is there a motion? I'll make the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Probably moved in second. Are there any questions?
I have a question.
Mr. Edmondson.
Ms. Barnes, help me understand. So Section 21-1, Section A, all persons, firms, partners, et cetera, consisting of relating to or building, constructing, repairing, renovating structures fixed, attached thereto, et cetera. So what this is stating is that it will be illegal, according to the county ordinance, for my neighbor to install a light on my mailbox unless they apply with the county first. File with the county first. As I read it, it doesn't make exceptions for that. It says all business. If I want to help my retired neighbor put something, a motion light on their garage door, this says I have to go file with the county first, otherwise I'm breaking the law. Is that right? And if not, then where does it say that that's not the case?
If you look in the revised language in 22-1A, it is asking for the name of the business to be registered with Clayton County Business License. So
Right, it says all persons, firms, partnerships, corporations, or other entities who shall undertake, transact, engage in, pursue, or carry on any business. So persons who carry on business.
Correct. A business that has to be registered.
So business is a noun, not a verb. You're saying as a person, I conduct a business incorporated?
If you have the business of, you're a contractor and you're operating the business in Clayton County, for which you'd have to obtain a business license, then you have to, as a contractor, you would have to register the name of your business with community development.
So this is for people who are only contractors that are obligated to contract a business license, not all persons. So if I'm not a contractor, if I'm being paid to cut my neighbor's yard on a Saturday like I did as a teenager, are you saying I don't have to?
No, I don't believe so. I think that it's for you to register the name of a business that's
Okay.
operating in Clayton County.
So where does it say businesses only?
Well, it says all persons, firm, partnerships, corporations, and you go on down to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I believe the 6th line, and it says, shall be required to register the name of the business with the Clayton County Department of Community Development Business License Division.
So if I'm for profit but not a contractor, then I don't have to do this.
I would have to look at how the county defines business. I don't know if it excludes that you are for profit or not for profit.
I mean, this is that ordinance right here, right? I mean, this is what it does.
Ms. Barnes, is it saying that if you are not required to have a business license, you don't have to adhere to this ordinance?
Yes. If Commissioner Edmondson wants us to go back and clarify that language to include something in to say the persons or the entities that this would not apply to, we certainly can do that.
I think that would be when we do that to every ordinance. If it does not apply to you, it does not apply to you.
No, I'm just trying to find in the language here because so many times we've passed laws that are then gray in their interpretation according to our legal counsel. So you're saying this is all persons, but really only those that are in business.
It's specifically for contractors.
Okay.
The reason we drafted this revision is because there was some code language where we were requiring contractors to pay an additional annual $35 registration fee, which is not in compliance with state law. So in addition to removing that annual registration fee, the intent is to outline the different things that need to appear in the contractor's registration.
I understand the intent, but since it's a letter to the law, I'm a little uncomfortable with the language, but I have no further questions.
Any other questions? Hearing none. Properly moved in second. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
It's 4-1,
4
Mr.
to 1,
Edmondson
Michael
opposed.
Edmondson opposed. Okay.
Next is resolution number 2014-184, which is a resolution to enter into a license agreement with Constantine Chapter Memorial LLC to allow Sigma Chi fraternity to conduct an enhancement project and host a celebration of the 150th anniversary of the Constantine Chapter of Sigma Chi fraternity at Sigma Chi Park, to authorize the chairman to perform all acts necessary to accomplish the intent of this resolution, to provide an effective date of this resolution, and for other purposes.
Mr. Chairman, I move to accept resolution 2014-184.
Is there a second?
I'll second, Mr. Chair.
Properly moved in second. Are there any questions? Hearing none. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? It's unanimous.
Resolution number 2014-185 is a resolution authorizing Clayton County to enter into a project agreement with Path Foundation Incorporated, providing for the terms and conditions under which services related to designing greenway trails in and around Clayton County International Park will be administered, to authorize the chairman to execute the agreement and otherwise to perform all acts necessary to accomplish the intent of the resolution, to provide an effective date of this resolution, and for other purposes.
Is there a motion? I'll make the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Properly moved in second. Any questions?
That was Ms. Hamburg, second?
Yes.
Okay, if you all don't mind, please speak directly into the microphone. It's hard to hear over here sometimes when you speak softly. Thank you.
I have a question. When the Bourgets spoke earlier, they mentioned Waverly Drive. Is that mentioned here in this resolution? Or is it just for the trail system? I didn't remember seeing
Ms.
it.
Stanford.
Yes, Commissioner. Actually, what's happening is the Path Foundation is developing field survey work and design work, And so they may include a couple of the subdivisions adjacent to the park. But again, before they get to the construction phase, we will do a public input as well as bring it back to the board before we get into construction phase.
Okay, so approving of this does not necessarily mean that Waverly, their concerns are not being addressed.
That is correct.
Okay.
Let me ask you, I have one question for you. When you have been discussing the pathway plan, has law enforcement been part of that as well?
Yes, sir. There's a steering committee that also consists of law enforcement, the water authority, the school system, other stakeholders throughout the county. They are a part of that discussion regarding the trail development.
Okay, and I think he brought some serious concerns to light about the last event, so I would encourage Chief Porter to get with Mr. Bourget and find out what those particular incidents were so we can make sure we get a handle on those, because we love having events at the beach, but we do have to make sure we properly police it as well. So thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Oh.
Get a vote on it.
Okay.
Have a motion
Right.
in a second.
Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Okay.
Resolution number 2014-186 is a resolution authorizing Clayton County on behalf of the Clayton County Parks and Recreation Department to grant a special facility use request for the Rotary Club of Clayton County Incorporated to host a series of events for international college students at the Clayton County International Park, to authorize the chairman to perform all acts necessary to accomplish the intent of this resolution, to provide an effective date of this resolution, and for other purposes.
Is there a motion? I'll make the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Properly moved and second. Are there any questions?
I have a question. I'd ask Mr. Chairman that this request to reduce by 50% is increased to reduce to the 100% waiver of rental fees that was requested. Traditionally, that's been done for this particular event in years gone by. It's a local charity, and the very next resolution for 180, Resolution 2014-187, recommends a 100% waiver of costs per request also. It's only a few $100s.
Mr. Stanford. Have we done this before? I had 100%.
What we've done in the past is that they've absorbed the maintenance costs. I think the position or the posture that the board has taken here as of late was that if you serve as a 501c3, the department's recommendation is to provide a half off for that respective request. And obviously, in some instances, the board has waived those fees. But with the Rotary Club, to be specific, in past, what they have not paid the building costs, but they paid the maintenance or the staff associated with the use of the space.
And that's roughly at what percentage?
It's not at a percentage. They pay whatever
So
the true
just pay
cost
the
for staff. And then it's traditionally what we've been recommending is 50% of whatever the true cost of the building has been.
Plus the staff, the
Plus the
$10
staff.
an hour and lifeguard. Would you consider amending to reduce the rental fee to 100%, but include the
Maintenance
cost?
fees.
The maintenance fees.
And
right.
we have done that in the
Yes,
past.
sir, we have.
Yes, I will entertain that amendment to waive the building fees, but to charge them for the maintenance fees.
I'll second that amendment.
Thank you. All right, any other questions? Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
And we will.
You now adopt the amended motion?
I'm sorry,
That's
I
what we
thought
just
I thought
did.
you just did that.
You made it amended.
Yes.
Did it?
He made the motion, you seconded it. He made the motion to amend, I seconded it.
And we
Just
voted on
approve
the
the motion
amended.
to amend.
We don't need to vote on the other one.
Okay,
We're
my
rolling
bad.
with the
We're good.
amended one.
Okay.
And we will revise the language in the resolution, and I believe there may be a license agreement that is attached to reflect that.
Okay. Is it okay for the commissioners to sign this one, or do you want to just take it back altogether?
I would like to take it back
Okay.
altogether, and we will
Sign
switch
the
that language.
corrected copy.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Resolution number 2014-187 is a resolution to allow State Senator Valencia C. to host a town hall meeting and dinner at the Frank Bailey Senior Center, to authorize the chairman to perform all acts necessary to accomplish the intent of this resolution, to provide an effective date of this resolution, and for other purposes.
Is there a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman and Board. I move that we accept Resolution 2014-187.
I'll second it.
Properly moved and second. Are there any questions? Hearing none. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Resolution number 2014-188 is a resolution authorizing Clayton County to enter into a license agreement with We Need to Read Incorporated, providing for the terms and conditions under which the food trucks at the beach event will be hosted at the Clayton County International Park, to authorize the chairman to perform all acts necessary to accomplish the intent of this resolution, to provide an effective date of this resolution, and for other purposes.
Is there a motion? I'll make the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Properly moved and second. Are there any questions?
I'm sorry, I have to ask this again, but I didn't hear.
Second.
Ms. Hambrick, okay.
Second the motion.
Before that, you were very loud and clear. Okay, I didn't hear that one. Okay.
Any questions? Hearing none. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? It's unanimous.
Resolution number 2014-189 is a resolution authorizing Clayton County to enter into a memorandum of understanding with the Drug Enforcement Administration to participate in the Atlanta Tactical Diversion Task Force, to authorize the chairman or the chief of police as his designee to execute the MOU, to authorize the chief financial officer to amend the budget where necessary to reflect an appropriate revenue source and expense, all as may be required in the terms of the MOU, to provide an effective date of this resolution, and for other purposes.
Is there a motion? I'll make the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Properly moved and second. Are there any questions? Hearing none. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Resolution number 2014-190 is a resolution authorizing the acceptance of one condemned vehicle, which is a 2000 Toyota Camry, to be assigned to the police department fleet in a manner as will be in the best interest of the county, to authorize the directors of central services and fleet maintenance to perform all acts required by this resolution, to provide an effective date of this resolution, and for other purposes.
Is there a motion?
I move to approve Resolution 2014-190.
Is there a second?
Second. Second.
Yeah, now you're talking. Properly moved and second. Are there any questions? Hearing none. Those in favor, aye.
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 Opposed? It's unanimous.
Resolution number 2014-191 is a resolution authorizing Clayton County to enter into an aging sub-grant contract with the Atlanta Regional Commission, providing for the services for the aging division of the Clayton County Senior Services Department, to authorize the chairman to execute the contract and otherwise to perform all acts necessary to accomplish the intent of this resolution, to authorize the chief financial officer to amend the budget to reflect an appropriate revenue source and expense, all as may be required under the terms of the contract, to provide an effective date of this resolution, and for other purposes.
Is there a motion? I'll make the motion. Is there a second? Is there a second? Motion dies due to a lack of a second.
Resolution number 2014-192 is a resolution authorizing Clayton County to enter into a traffic signal modification agreement with Church Street Retail Properties Incorporated for traffic signal modifications and for the acceptance of right-of-way associated with Fred's Retail Center Commercial Development on Upper Riverdale Road at Roy Huey Road, to authorize the chairman to execute the agreement on behalf of the county and otherwise to perform all acts necessary to accomplish the intent of this resolution, to authorize the chief financial officer to amend the budget where necessary to reflect an appropriate revenue source and expense, all as may be required under the terms of the agreement, to provide an effective date of this resolution, and for other purposes.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? I'll second it. Properly moved and second. Are there any questions?
I do. I have a question.
Commissioner Rooks.
I'm just curious, why are they being so benevolent? Yes, giving, free. It says that they're covering the cost, correct?
Yes, ma'am. The development is putting in a wider driveway for the retail center.
Uh-huh.
And they're reimbursing us the cost of doing the work that they would normally do as part of their site development.
Okay. And that's all it is to it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All right, those in favor, aye.
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 Opposed? It's unanimous.
Resolution number 2014-193 is a resolution authorizing the renewal of the right-of-way entry for environmental assessment and response to the United States Army Corps of Engineers upon that certain county right-of-way identified in Exhibit A attached hereto, to authorize the chairman to execute the right-of-way, the right of entry, and to perform all acts necessary to accomplish the intent of this resolution, to provide an effective date of this resolution, and for other purposes.
Is there a motion? I'll make the motion. Is there a second?
Second, Chair. Second, Chair.
Properly moved in second. Are there any questions? No questions. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Resolution number 2014-194 is a resolution authorizing the execution of 2 amendments to the utility relocation agreements with CenturyLink Communications, LLC, which was formerly known as Quest Communications, LLC, and MCI Communications Services, Incorporated, to modify the technical scope of work and costs associated with the CW Grant Grade Separation Project, to authorize the chairman to execute the agreements on behalf of the county, and otherwise to perform all acts necessary to accomplish the intent of the resolution, to authorize the chief financial officer to amend the budget where necessary to reflect an appropriate revenue source and expense, all as may be required under the terms of the agreements, to provide an effective date of this resolution, and for other purposes.
Is there a motion?
Yes.
So moved.
Second.
Probably moved in second. Are there any questions?
I have a question.
Mr. Evans.
I don't know who to ask this for, Keith. It might be more of a bidding question, but I noticed that CenturyLink's modification is 100% or close to it. They're going from $397,000 to $787,000. These original agreements were just from a few months ago. So help me get comfortable with who the change orders were and why there was such unclarity with the original RFP, and what was the dollar amount of the company that came in right behind them?
As far as, well, first off.
Well, who bid on it, I guess?
Well, unfortunately, it's not a bid process. They are housed on the right-of-way of Southern Railroad.
Okay.
So they're on the right-of-way. We're asking them to move it, so we have to pay them to move their utilities in order to get the project complete. The difference is that up until just recently, the railroad had not approved the bridge plans. But in order to meet Georgia DOT deadlines, we had to have an agreement in place. The scope changed a little bit, well, not a little bit, but causing that. But also, there are actually 3 utilities there. They are all going in with CenturyLink for CenturyLink to do the duct placement, the conduit. They're doing all the conduit for all 3 agreements now, as before they had not agreed to do that.
So that reduces the cost of future agreements that will be coming before us?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, thank you. No further questions.
All right, those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Resolution number 2014-195 is a resolution authorizing Clayton County to fulfill insurance requirements, to authorize the chairman to execute all documents necessary to effectuate the transfer, and otherwise to perform all acts necessary to accomplish the intent of this resolution, to provide an effective date of this resolution, and for other purposes.
Is there a motion?
What is to fulfill what insurance requirements? I did not read that one. Explain it just a little bit more.
I believe the county acquired certain easements across some property that's owned by the city of Atlanta. And now they are just requiring us to provide certain motor vehicle insurance to be able to effectuate the easements that we've entered into with them. They won't give us the easements without these insurance provisions being met. They're requiring the board to approve a resolution that we will fulfill those insurance requirements.
Okay. So we need a motion on this one.
You good?
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't think you wanted to do it. No, I'm just kidding.
No, is there a motion?
Just kidding. So moved.
I'll second it, probably moving second. Any other questions? Hearing none, those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, it's unanimous.
Resolution number 2014-196 is a resolution authorizing Clayton County to exercise its powers of eminent domain in accordance with provisions of Georgia laws for the purpose of acquiring certain properties for use by the Clayton County Department of Transportation and Development for the Lake Ridge Parkway Subdivision Sidewalk Improvement Project, to authorize the chairman to execute any documents relating thereto, and to otherwise perform all acts necessary to accomplish the intent of this resolution, to authorize the chief financial officer to amend the budget where necessary to reflect an appropriate revenue source and expense, to provide an effective date of this resolution, and for other purposes.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second, Mr. Chair.
Properly moved and second. Are there any questions? Hearing none, those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, it's unanimous.
And also, resolution number 2014-197 is a resolution authorizing the county to exercise its powers of eminent domain in accordance with the provisions of Georgia laws for the purpose of acquiring a certain property for use by the Clayton County Department of Transportation and Development for the Point South Parkway Sidewalk Improvement Project, to authorize the chairman to execute any documents relating thereto, and to otherwise perform all acts necessary to accomplish the intent of this resolution, to authorize the chief financial officer to amend the budget where necessary to reflect an appropriate revenue source and expense, to provide an effective date of this resolution, and for other purposes.
Is there a motion?
I move that we accept resolution 2014-197.
Is there a second?
Second.
Who was that?
Ms.
Second.
Hambrick.
The one who talks alone.
Any questions?
The one who talks alone.
Hearing none, those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, it's unanimous.
Next is resolution number 2014-199, which I hope you all have had a chance to review the updated draft. It is a resolution providing for and authorizing an increase in supplemental compensation of certain elected officials, employees of the state of Georgia, and other persons employed in county offices or performing duties essential to county operations, to authorize the chief financial officer to amend the budget where necessary to reflect an appropriate revenue source and expense, to provide an effective date, to repeal conflicting laws, and for other purposes.
Is there a motion? I'll make the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it for the purpose of asking questions.
Any questions?
Yes. Why are we doing a supplement through a resolution?
Historically, whenever the Board of Commissioners has authorized a supplement on any funds that it's paying to county employees or people that are performing some type of function for Clayton County government, it has been through a resolution. And so the way we calculate it is we look at the statutory requirements for their salaries as set by state law, which will be the OCGA law. We have to consider any supplements that are set by local law, which will be a Senate bill or a House bill, and then any supplements as provided by the Board of Commissioners, which was through a resolution in the past.
Any other questions? All right, hearing none, those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
It's
Okay,
3-2,
so-
it fails.
3-2, it fails?
Yes.
Okay. And who opposed?
Hambrick.
I actually
Gregory
really
and-
need to recuse because I'm an attorney. I see some conflicts here, so I'm going to abstain from voting.
Okay,
Okay.
it still fails. Well,
that
not
would be a-
fails.
that's
It's
2-2.
just no vote.
Okay. All right, but Gail Hambrick and Ms. Gregory
Ms. Gregory, yes.
opposed it.
And
May I ask a question? this is the first time since I've been on the board that I've seen it like this. Why do we get it this way this time?
I think the last time the Board of Commissioners approved an exhibit like this where you were providing supplements to very county officials and departments or employees was in 2005.
Oh, I was about
Resolution
to say, I knew it hadn't been since I've been here.
2005-158.
Was the intent to increase their salaries because of the 3% we gave to?
Yes.
That would have been good to know before I voted. Or I guess it wouldn't because I can't vote anyway.
You want to reconsider?
I can't vote. I mean,
Well, we've already cast the vote. What else?
I mean, one could make the point that you vote on the part of our budget includes their operating budget for
I
their
know, and
constitutional offices.
that's turning out to be a problem in my practice right now, so I can't do it.
Would you want to consider voting on this by piecemealing and voting on part of this exhibit?
So
and
those
not
that don't
parts?
affect me?
Well, I voted to recuse myself from that part of the nonprofit allocation that went to Arts Clayton when my wife worked there, as that was part of the budget several years ago, and that was okay with legal's advice.
Do you see a problem with that, Ms. Barnes?
No, we can take each supplement for each office separately, and then we can revise the exhibit to reflect.
I can do that. You want to do?
I think that you would need a motion to
amend.
reconsider.
Yeah, reconsider.
You want to do
okay.
it tonight?
Well, let's do
Board's
this,
pleasure.
if it's okay with you. Since it was a no vote, bring it back next meeting after we modify it the way it needs to be done.
Certainly.
Okay.
Would do.
Okay.
Finally is the resolution which was just added this evening, which is a resolution, it's resolution number 2014-200, which is a resolution declaring the results of a sales and use tax election held on May 20th, 2014, providing for notification of the district attorney and for other related purposes. The board's approval is needed on this matter tonight in order to lock in certain interest rates for the general obligation debt, which was approved in the SPLOST recently.
Ms. Barnes, do we have that?
Yeah, I passed it down. I don't know if it was passed all the way down, but I did pass it down. Okay.
That's this right here.
You said resolution 200, correct?
Right.
Yes,
It's a
it may not
resolution.
have the number on the top.
Yeah,
Okay,
I was the only
okay,
one who had the
okay.
number. Okay.
Okay, is there a motion?
So moved.
I'll second it. Properly moved and second. Are there any questions? Those in favor?
I'm sorry, I have a question. Are we really just okaying this or verifying or certifying, basically?
Yes, and this is required to lock in a
Okay.
certain interest rate by a certain date.
Okay.
Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
And Mr. Chairman, I need an executive session for real estate, litigation, and personnel matters.
Okay.
Okay, and we have 3 board appointments tonight. The first is the Civil Service Board to fill the unexpired term of Laurie Favre, who has resigned. The unexpired term ends on December 31st of this year.
I have a recommendation for, I'm talking about this one here. Yeah. You did state civil service, correct?
Yes, I did. Mhm.
Okay, I'd like to recommend Cephas Jackson.
Dr. Cephas Jackson of Clayton
Yes,
County Board of
Dr. Cephas
Education.
Jackson,
Mhm.
yes.
If we do, what, if we have 2 recommendations?
So if this fails, then you would have to go to that. I believe that's the process.
I am Vivian Baldwin.
Is there a second to my recommendation?
I'll second it.
Properly moved and second. Those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Nay.
So that failed. It
Aye
was
or
3
no?
in
I said
opposition.
aye.
Oh, you said aye? Okay.
passes.
So 3-2 in favor. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Next, we have appointment to the Family and Children Services Board, also known as DFACS Board. The term of Jewel Lewis expired on June 30th of this year. The new term is for 5 years, expiring June 30th of 2019.
I have an appointment, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Rooks?
I'd like to appoint Tia Simon, T-I-A-S-I-M-O-N.
I didn't hear the first name.
Tia, T-I-A,
Simon.
Yes, ma'am. SIMON.
Okay.
All right, is there a second to the motion? I'll second, properly moved in second. Those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? It's unanimous.
Okay. And lastly, we have appointment to the library board to fill the unexpired term of Gwen McQueen, who also resigned. The unexpired term ends on June 30th of next year.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to recommend Miss Brenda Rayburn.
I'll second. Properly moved in second. Those in favor, aye.
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 Opposed? It's unanimous.
Okay. And lastly, we have consideration of streets for acceptance in the Sunset Park development, consisting of Horizon Court, Headwaters Way, and Solitude Court, located in Land Lot 135 of the 12th District, and this lies in Commission District 1, Commissioner Sona Singleton Gregory.
Keith, I need your help. I know we've talked about this one in constituent services. So is this okay with, and I've deferred it all to Jeff, is this okay with T&D? What is T&D's
Please take the
take
podium.
on this?
There's a little bit of question about some of that addressing and all that, but as far as the construction of the streets and roads, it did meet the requirements at the time. So our advice was to go ahead and move forward with it.
Okay. All right. And with that, Mr. Chair, I offer motion to approve it.
I'll second it.
Properly moved in second. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Okay. If there's no further business to discuss, we need a motion to go into executive session.
And before I go into take a motion for executive session, I would just like to acknowledge a longtime county employee, former police chief, Ronnie Clackham. Thank you for being here with us. Absolutely. He's actually the one responsible for hiring a young patrolman named Jeff Turner way back when. So, thank you for being here, Chief. Is there a motion to go into executive session?
I move that we go into executive session.
Is there a second? I'll second it. Probably moving second. Those in favor, aye.
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 Opposed? It's unanimous.